nitrogen cycle. So nitrogen cycle ni nitrogen recycling of nitrogen and its compound in nature. In this nature, how do nitrogen circulate? Nitrogen na circulate kiaje? Ndio tunasoma. So kabla hatujasoma hizi mambo yote, acha tuende kwa diagram. This diagram is super easy and it's very important. It's very important. It's just like other processes. Sometimes calculate exactly vile iko, lakini you have to know each one inatoka wapi, nini inaingia huko. So tuanze from nitrogen in the atmosphere. Nitrogen in the atmosphere. Tuseme this is the nitrogen ambayo iko kawaida kabisa, iko atmosphere. So this nitrogen inaingia direct to plant. Because plant absorbiwa by absorb nitrogen, so inaingia direct to plant. So this nitrogen inaenda mahali tatu. Kwanza acha nianze huko. This nitrogen inaenda mahali tatu. This nitrogen in the air. Number one, inaingia plant direct. Number two, inakuwa ammonia. Inaenda inafanywa ikuwe ammonia. Kuna organisms zinafanya hivyo. Ya tatu inakuwa lightning. The lightning, so unajua dhana lightning. The lightning ndio inafanya this nitrogen zikuwe nitrate. Zikuwe nini? Nitrate. So this inaenda hiyo mahali tatu. Number one nimekuambia inaingia kwa plant, nyingine inaenda kwa ammonia, na nyingine inaenda kwa nitrate. And this nitrate nini inafanya by lightning, because already ni nitrogen ndio tuko nayo hapa, nitrogen. So ina react to the lightning na inakuwa nini? Inakuwa nitrate. So this nitrate sasa inaingia plant by absorption. So plant absorb nitrate. So plant ikiabsorb nitrate, animals gonna feed the plant. So that's indirectly. They use nitrate indirectly plant. Animal. Ile nitrate zimeabsorb na plant, animal they feed it. So when this plant, so plant and animals zinafika aje animal? Through feeding wanafika nitrate. So plant and animal when they die, they decay. Then by saprophytic fungi, they saprophyte. Na inakuwa nini? Inakuwa ammonification. The process known as ammonification, na zinakuwa nini? Ammonia. This ammonia ina add by nitrification, by nitrosomas ina add nitrogen. Inakuwa nini? Inakuwa nitrogen 2 oxide. So this nitrogen 2 oxide inafanywa further nitrification, yani wana add nitrogen, another nitrogen, inakuwa aje? Inakuwa nitrate. Then process inarudi hivi. And that's all about the process. Huwa nikifunza hii process nafunzanga maswali ya KCSE. So sina maswali ya KCSE, but acha nirudie hii process. Nimesema nitrogen in the atmosphere. Taizi kuna nitrogen iko atmosphere because kwa gases tulikuwa tunasema gases contain of 6 things. That is the dust, water vapor, and nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and oxygen contained. So these are free nitrogen in the air or in the atmosphere. This atmosphere, nitrogen from atmosphere inaenda mahali tatu. Number one, inafixiwa by the lightning na inakuwa nini? Nitrate. It will be fixed by the lightning and it will become a nitrate. Then also inaweza fixiwa by living microorganism such as azotobacter, na zinakuwa nini? Ammonia. Also inaweza fixiwa by symbiotic organism like of Rhizobium, na inaingia plant root. Simekuwa hivyo. So that's all. So ikikuwa nitrate pia, ikikuwa nitrate ina absorbiwa by plant. So this process known as absorption. So it will be absorbed by the plant. So plant itakuwa feeded by animals. So animals will feed the plant, and then when animal and the plant die, they death. So they will be followed by the decay. Saprophytic bacteria are also known as ammonification. Ammonification. And this itakuwa nini? Ammonia. This ammonia itakuwa nitrified, inaahidiwa nitrogen, na ikiahidiwa itakuwa nini? Nitrogen 2 oxide. This nitrogen 2 oxide, it will be further nitrified. Inaahidiwa nitrogen, inakuwa aje? Inakuwa nitrate. This nitrate sasa, kama tunataka kurudisha nitrogen, kama tunataka kurudisha hii this nitrogen, tunafanya aje? Tunafanya denitrification. Unajua denitrification. This denitrification inafanya Pseudomonas and Diobacillus zinafanya, so zinarudi kama nitrogen ya kawaida, and that's how the process ina contain. So ni kama tu in simple term ni kama tu nitrogen in the air inaenda mahali tatu. Moja inaenda ammonia, ingine inaingia plant, ingine inakuwa nini? Inakuwa nitrate by lightning. So this nitrate zinaingia kwa plant by absorption. They will be absorbed by absorption. Then this plant sasa inafeediwa by animals, and this is known as feeding. Then this, when they die, both plant and animals, they decay by saprophytic animals. They become ammonia. This ammonia is added by nitrate to form nitrogen 2 oxide. This nitrogen 2 oxide will be further nitrified to form nini? To form nitrate. This nitrate sasa zinazirudishwa ikuwe nitrate, nitrogen zinazirudishwa ikuwe nitrate by denitrification or nitrifiers. Zinakuwa nini? Zinakuwa nitrate. That's all about the process. So just know that kila moja inaenda wapi na ingine inakuwa aje. I think the process is okay. So acha kwanza nifanye hasa ile maswali, ile kitu iko muhimu sana hapa. So steps ni gani? Nitrogen fixation. So nitrogen inafixiwa, meaning that nitrogen is converted into nitrate or ammonia or absorption by biological or non-biological nitrogen fixation. Biological inamaanisha nini? Biological ni kama symbiotic bacteria, yani ile inafikisha kwa plant legumes, so they are in the root nodules of the legumes. That is biological. Also non-biological is during the thunderstorm. The lightning energy combine in atmosphere nitrogen with oxygen to form nitrogen 4 oxide. Nitrogen 4 oxide later dissolve in the rainwater to form nitric acid and nitrous acid. The nitric acid combine with metal ion in the soil to form nitrate. So see kitu sijaona wakiwa wanauliza how this is formed. I can just know that in biological is just by lightning. Absorption ile ya plant, just know that is the most important. Feeding is by animals. Ammonification ile ya decay. Nitrification, ammonia compound are converted into nitrate by nitrifying bacteria. So this nitrifying bacteria inaitwa nini? So nitrification ndo utaulizwa. Nitrification ni you convert to nitrate. Nitrification ni nitrate is converted to nitrogen or ammonia. So nitrification ni bacteria kama gani zinafanya? Number 1 ni Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus. Nitrite are then converted. This NO is nitrite. So into nitrate by nitrifying bacteria. So the nitrite sasa, so hii compound are converted to nitrite, so zina convert to nitrite. So nini zina convert to nitrite? By nitrifying bacteria like Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus. Lakini from nitrite to nitrate ni nitrifying bacteria like Nitrobacter. Zote zina change to step by step. The nitrification Its nitrate in the soil are combined to nitrite, either as a combined to nitrite, ammonia, or free nitrogen. So they are done by the nitrifying bacteria such as Pseudomonas nitrification and the bacillus. So this is now always to name the bacteria that the nitrifies bacteria and nitrify bacteria. So you just say two. So role of the nitrogen cycle in the nasaidia nini? Number one, help to create to regulate the atmospheric nitrogen. It acts as a source of energy for decomposers. Number two, it allows free nitrogen into atmosphere to incorporate with the tissues of organism. Also, it enriches the soil with nitrogen for plant use. These are all of the nitrogen cycle. Role of decomposers of saprophyte. Decomposers zinafanya kazi gani? Their action, their action is uh, uh, their action is the action results into release of nutrient in the soil. So this is inaleta nini? Nutrient in the soil. That's known as nitrogen cycle. Is there a question? So let's go. This energy flow in the ecosystem. Energy flow in the ecosystem. Energy flow is the sun is being the main source which is contained in the food eaten. So sasa hii inaitwa nini? Inaitwa the food chain. The food chain and the food web. Food chain and the food web. So plant sun inakuwa main, then plant zinakuwa producer. Anything that eat plant inaitwa primary consumer, then anything that eat the plant inaitwa primary consumer inaitwa secondary consumer, then anything that eats secondary consumer inaitwa tertiary, then quaternary, that's known as scavengers. So kwanza wacha nijibu swali very important hapa ambayo inakujanga sana kwa mtihani. A small portion of energy is passed from the tropic level to the next tropic level to the next inaonyesha, for example, ikaanza producer ikaenda primary consumer energy zinakuwa reduced, then primary consumer to secondary consumer pia energy inakuwa nini? Reduced. From secondary to tertiary pia the energy is reduced. From tertiary to quaternary reduced. So this quaternary ile energy itafikia compared to primary consumers and secondary consumers iko very low. Kwa sababu gani? How is it lost? It is lost by, na utaulizwa how the energy is lost during food chain. So the energy is lost. Number one is respiration. How the energy is lost? Number one is respiration, excretion. Because I think unajua tofauti ya excretion and excretion tumesoma kwa the last topic form 2. Decomposition, unedible material not consumed. Lakini hiyo achana yake. Just leave it this. Utauliza more than 3. Just shika hii 4. Respiration, excretion, and that energy is lost during the food chain. So food chain, first of all, that you have to know that the arrow always point the eater. The arrow point the eater. Hii arrow ina point the eater. So meaning that grass nini inakula? Ni grasshopper inakula. So grasshopper nini inakula? Birds inakula. So that's the food chain. Methods of determining the type of diet in the organism. Very common question. How do we know that? This organism, they are primary consumer, they are secondary consumer? How do we know that? Number one, we dissect the organism and analyzing their content in the digestive system. Tunachukua hii organism, then dissect meaning that tunapasua tumbo yake, then tunaangalia the digestive system of the gut ina contain nini. Number two is observing as they feed. Tunaenda tuangalie nini, tunaangalia tu as they feed, wanakula nini. Number three is observing their drooping. Tunaangalia their drooping and we analyze it. So also studying their dentition. Kama ni animal ambayo ziko na dentition, tunaenda ku observe dentition, how their teeth are arranged. Beak, kama the like of birds, tunaangalia beaks zao. So this is how to determine the type of diet the organism eat. So this is a food web. Food web also is a very common question. Yeah, it is a very common question. Naturally, ecology kuja both paper 1 na paper 2. What is common in paper 2, paper 2 wana test 8 marks. 8 marks either wana test nitrogen cycle ama wana test food web. Hizi food web. Nitakwambia vile wana test food web. So this is first of all food web. Is food web. So name the food relationship above. So food web sasa kazi yake ni food sasa iko na many food chain. Unajua food chain ilikuwa tu moja. For example kama ni plant ama grass inakula na grasshopper, then grasshopper inakula na birds. So ni kama tu moja tu line moja. Lakini look at the food web. Yani it has many food chain. Angalia hii line, angalia hii line. Saizi hii hapa iko na food chain ngapi? Iko na food chain 3. Hii ni food chain 1, 2 na 3. So this is name the relationship. The relationship is food web because it has many food chain. How many trophic level is shown in the diagram? Trophic level inakuanga aje, tunaangalia aje. Number 1, this is known as producers. Then this is primary consumers. And this is the zote is equal the same level. So this is just secondary consumers. So they have how many trophic level? 1, 2 and 3. So they have 3 trophic level. Example 2, this is all about, this is in KCC. Hizi maswali wameandika hapa ni KCC. So example 2 ni example 2 wametupatia small fish microscope, wametupatia kitu mingi. Swali imetuliza nini? Crocodile construct a food chain ending with crocodile. So lazima iende na crocodile. Na crocodile ikuwe aje? As quaternary consumer. So utafanya aje? Utaandika hapa. Unasema inaanza na producers. So hivyo followed by primary consumer, followed by secondary consumer, followed by tertiary consumer, followed by quaternary. So quaternary ndo last. So ngapi kwa mbele yake? Ni 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Always ni lazima uanze producer. So unaanza aje? Wakati gani sasa una construct a food chain? You construct a food chain when the crocodile is quaternary, yani iko number 4. Iko number 5, I mean number 5. So tunaweza anza wapi? Tunaweza anza hapa 1, then equate 2, equate 2, equate 3, equate 4, equate 5. So tunaweza anza na microscopic plant, iende kwa mosquito, iende kwa small fish, iende kwa large fish, irudi kwa crocodile. So this is number 5 sasa. So, and that is the only example that we have. Hii ingine ni 4. Sometimes there is a compare construct 2 food chain depending on you on that. So we will just draw that the primary consumer, the secondary consumer, the tertiary consumer and the quaternary. Hivyo ndo zinafuatana. Name the organism in the food web that has only one predator. Jana tulisoma predator ni prey. So prey ni ile organism inakulwa na predator ni ile organism inakula. So organism kama gani iko na mtu mmoja ambaye anakula ama organism moja anakula gani? Tukiangalia kwa small fish inakulwa na large fish na inakula na crocodile. Tukuje kwa large fish nani inakula? Hizi inakula, lakini crocodile pekee yake inakula. So number 1 large fish, it has only one eater because tulisema always arrow point the eater. Hizi arrow mbili inamaanisha large fish inakula microscopic plant na small fish, lakini hii ina point crocodile, so inakula. That's number 1 ni large fish. Another one is so mosquito nini inakula? Mosquito it has only one arrow ambayo inatoka na ina point small fish. So the other one is the mosquito larvae. So name the organism in the food web has only one predator. So the moment that you know the difference between predator and the prey, the predator is the animal that hunt, and the prey is the animal that is hunted. Example 3 tukifanya example 3, this is all about hii ni KCC zote ziko common familia. Rahisi sana na inakuja tu every year, hata this year ilikuwa food chain. So right up down the food chain in which the guinea fowl are secondary consumer. So guinea fowl is secondary consumer. So this is a guinea fowl first of all. Guinea fowl. So Dranica producer, primary consumer, primary consumer, secondary consumer. So guinea fowl iko secondary consumer, so iko number 3. So guinea fowl iko number 3 kama wapi? Na lazima unaanza producer. Producer is ni plant, hakuna kitu kingine. Producer ni plant. So this is a grass, tunaanza na grass. So guinea fowl iko number 3 ngapi? Iko either grasshopper then iende kwa guinea fowl. So tunaanza anza grass, grasshopper, guinea fowl. So this is why grass, grasshopper and guinea fowl. Ya pili ni tunaweza anza na grass, tukuje kwa termite, tukuje kwa guinea fowl. Tatu hivyo. And that's all. Hakuna ingine. Hakuna ingine. Hii itakuwa primary consumer, kuja grass to guinea fowl ni primary consumer. Hii ni primary consumer. Then hii itakuwa primary, secondary consumer. Then it will be tertiary consumer. Quaternary itakuwa quaternary. So that's how. What will be the short-term effect in the ecosystem if lions invaded the area? Kwanza, this question also is tested. Kama lion inakuja hii area, what will be the short-term effect? Short-term effect. So unaangalia in two perspective. Number one, unaangalia lion kwanza iko wapi? Lion iko wapi? Lion iko mahali ya leopard. Si kweli? Lion sasa pia itakuja hapa. Lion itakuja hapa. Lion itakuja hapa. So lion na leopard zikipatana wana compete on these gazelles. So what will happen to these gazelles? So unaangalia zote. Unaangalia both side. Unaangalia hii side, unaangalia hii side, unaangalia hii side na unaangalia hii side. Zote kati and both right hand and left hand. What will happen on that? So tukuje kwa gazelles. Kama leopard peke yake ilikuwa hapa. Sasa lion zikuje, gazelles zitakuwa aje? Watakulwa sana. So the number of gazelles will reduce. Number of gazelles will reduce. That's number one. Number two, tukuje kwa katikati. Ni what will happen to lion, to leopard and lion? They will compete. Kuna competition. Yeah. I think what will happen kama gazelles zimekulwa, gazelle ilikuwa inakula grass hiyo. So hii grass itakuwa ina increase. The grass itakuwa nini? The grass itakuwa ita increase. So that is how you look at. Name the organism through which energy from the sun enters the food web. Energy from the sun enter wapi? Enter the plant, and the plant is the grass. And the plant is the grass. So inakuwa hivi. Example 4. Name the process by which energy from the sun is incorporated into the food web. So that process known as inaingia kwanza wapi? Inaingia plant. And the plant which plant inatengeneza nini? Inatengeneza chakula through process known as photosynthesis. And that's the process known as photosynthesis. Is it the mode of feeding of the fish in the food web? Where is the fish? Kuna fish hapa. Then kuna small fish. So naanza plant green plant ni algae or green plant. So itakuwa primary consumer, secondary. Primary consumer, secondary. So fish inaanza secondary consumer. And secondary consumer are usually carnivorous. Name the two ecosystems in which organism in the food web life or live. They live in two ecosystems. Number one is fish inaishi wapi? Inaishi kwa aquatic. Birds inaishi wapi? Kwa terrestrial ecosystem. What will happen to the organism in the food web if bird L migrated? Good. So this bird L may migrate. So if bird L imetoka hapa migrate kabisa, what will happen? Number one, the number of snails will increase. Unajua hivyo. Snails will increase. Snails increase, the green algae or the green plant itakuwa reduced. So that's how we look at it. So the number of snail will increase, so on. Hence, more food for bird and whose population will increase. The number of algae and green plant will reduce as they eaten by the large number of snails. So on. So you know, from the information in the food web, construct a food chain. Lazima uulize construct food chain with large fish as tertiary consumer. Large fish as tertiary consumer. Where is the large fish? Where is the large fish? Iko hapa. So tertiary consumer. Sasa ni primary producer, I mean primary, secondary, and tertiary. Tertiary. So what will happen? Primary ni hii, lazima tunaanza hapa. Then iko number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So itakuwa this is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So itakuwaje? The algae or green plant, 2 zooplankton, 2 large fish, 2 to small fish, I mean to small fish to large fish. So that will be like that. So ona algae tunaenda kwa zooplankton, small fish and large fish. Also tunaweza enda wapi? Tunaweza enda ikue large fish wapi? Ikue number 4. 1 2 3 itakuwa 3. Then where can we go? Where can we go? Itakuwa primary, secondary and tertiary. Si iko sawa? Pia itaenda from insect larvae, then iende kwa small fish, then iende kwa large fish. So that's the two. Lakini sasa hiyo ametuambia tu moja, contract moja. The biomass of the producer in the ecosystem was found to be greater than that of the primary consumer. Explain why. Biomass tumesema is the ability to hold. So the biomass of producer mbona inakuwa mingi kuliko primary consumer? That's simple, because so that the producer are able to support the primary consumer. This is because energy is lost through respiration. Example 5. Kuna haja nifanye example 5. Example 6. So wacha tuende kwa pyramids of number. Pyramids of number is a diagram which represents a total number of organisms in different feeding or trophic level, and that's known as a pyramid of number. So they just show the differences. They represent the total number of organisms in different feeding level. So they show the relationship between number of organisms occupying the different trophic level. Usually the greatest in the number is producer. Producer ndio inakuwa greatest because energy inakuwa lost as trophic inaenda. So construction of the pyramid, how do you construct? Use the data provided, then after that you choose most suitable scale. Hivi unachora sasa. For example, the following shows the number. Small fish in liters 500, microscopic algae in 12,000, ini 100, crocodile 900, light fish in 950, and mosquito larvae. So unachorea to construct the possible food chain. You just unachorea tu. Unatoka from the green, that is microscopic algae. Algae ni plants ni hivyo. Inakuwa plant, then plant inakuja kwa mosquito larvae. And this energy ina decrease, angalia. This 12,000 inakuja 8,900. Followed by small fish, which is 3,500, followed by 950, which is large fish, and huko mwisho ni crocodile. Then unachorea you construct like this using a scale. So hapo juma ni microscopic algae, mosquito larvae, small fish, large fish and crocodile. So this is known as pyramid of numbers. Na huwa wanaleta I think this mambo ya pyramids, sijui ni pyramid gani, lakini mambo ya pyramids walileta 2023 paper 2 biology iko na 20 marks. Unajua tu iko na 20 marks graph. Then na this year I think walileta, if I'm not wrong, 2025. Explain the shape of the pyramid. You just explain the number of organisms decrease up the trophic level. decrease of the trophic level. This is because energy is lost in form of respiration in the succeeding trophic level, meaning that fewer numbers can be supported at the trophic level. So limitation, iko na disadvantage kama gani? The producer vary in size, yet they are given in the same status. Yes, some producers they vary in size. Kuna large plants, kuna small plants, lakini yet they are given in the same status. Na hiyo status gani? Hiyo status inaitwa producer. We don't care how large they are, how small they are. They are all about producer. Number two is it's difficult to draw the pyramid of the numbers to the scale because the numbers vary. Sometimes the number may vary. Also, it's difficult to determine the trophic level of some organism because some occupy more than one trophic level by the inequality. There are some that occupy, like of hyena. Hyena they occupy both secondary and tertiary. Sometimes there is a core scavengers. So this is difficult to determine. They are also inverted or irregular pyramid of number. Hii huwa it but sometimes inakuja na in case ikuja you have to know. The like is for example many monkeys feeding one tree of mango. Mango ni moja lakini many monkeys zina feed. Ama many caterpillars feeding on tree which in turn feed on the birds. So for example angalia kama trees ni kidogo ni moja, so caterpillars iko wengi, caterpillars ni wengi, so it will be like this, caterpillars ni wengi, then these caterpillars then they are fed by the birds, so inakuwa inverted hivi, so that's known as pyramid of inverted. So look at this, one tree feeding by many caterpillars, then caterpillars feeding by birds. One mango tree are feed by many monkeys. These monkeys are feeding by many fleas because fleas is just like the way ticks they feed on cows. So monkey moja sasa inaweza kuwa na million au inaweza kuwa na thousand of fleas, so inakuwa inverted. So pyramid of biomass is just to represent the dry mass. Ujue dry mass of an organism are different feeding through or trophic level. So the ecosystem should be ecologically balanced. The components in the ecosystem are available in a state of manner such that there is no depletion. The aquatic ecosystem, the pyramid of biomass, is completely inverted because some aquatic organisms have alternative prey. Kuna Kiswahili nilikuwa natafuta hapa sioni. Have largest biomass because they are producers. Kiswahili nilikuwa natafuta hapa sioni. So this is the pyramid of biomass. We must to lakini zina chora the same way. So producer huko, then consumer, then secondary consumer zinakuwa hivyo. Kwa hivyo. So for example this table shows about the aquarium which is ecologically balanced. Number one is insect larvae in 500, fish in 1200, water plant in 5000, na bacteria ni 10 gram. Construct a suitable food chain. So inaanza from water plant. From water plant inaenda kwa insect larvae. Because insect larvae nini nakula ni fish ndio nakula. Hizi sasa we forget about these masses. Because this is not pyramid of numbers, it's pyramid of biomass. So first of all tunaangalia nini? Tunaangalia the normal, construct just the normal food chain. So tunaanza from water plant, that's the plant. From the plant, after plant tunaenda kwa insect larvae. Then from insect larvae tunaenda kwa fish, then bacteria na kwa nyuma. After that we construct the pyramid of biomass using the given data na inatoka hivi. So we just draw it. Explain the shape of the pyramid of biomass. Imetoka hivi, you have to explain it. It is partially inverted because although the insect larvae have less biomass can sustain the fish due to large numbers and many eggs laid by the insect. So fish will also depend on alternative prey. State two roles of the green plant in the fish aquarium other than other than providing food for fish? Very common question. Very common question. Hii swali hata sometimes hawakuulizi hata under this question. Watakuuliza ikiwa peke yake. The importance of fish aquarium. The importance of plant in fish aquarium. Number one, they provide oxygen. Fish aquarium ni mahali ya fish tu kama pond. So number one, they generate oxygen. Wanapatia oxygen. Number two, they remove comfort. Number three, they provide food. They provide nini? They provide food. They provide food. So population.
Mwalimu,